Hey, good morning, people. It's Friday morning. Hope you're in for a great day and a wonderful weekend. Hope you find a great place to go and worship with people and enjoy that time together. But we're in the book of Mark. We're working our way systematically through this remarkable book. We saw Jesus being introduced to the world through John the Baptist. We've seen Jesus go through the waters of baptism, the Mount of Temptation. We've seen him begin his public ministry by the healing of a woman who just had a cold or worse, some flu. We've seen Jesus spending time with his Father by way of daily devotion and praying and connecting with his Father and getting the strength that he needs to be able to fulfill his mission. And Jesus was God, and yet he was human in every form. We saw yesterday how Jesus reached out with deep compassion for a man rejected, a man who had very little faith, but came to Jesus and said, Jesus, if you will, you can make me well again. You know, that's just that seed of faith that Jesus honored. But now in chapter 2, we see another model of Jesus healing. There's no one model and one size fits all when it comes to Jesus and his healing ministry. He healed a leper on the basis of very little faith. But here he heals somebody on the basis of somebody else's faith. Let me read to you the story of the paralytic. A few days later, when Jesus again entered Capernaum, the people heard that he had come home. So many gathered there, there was no room left, not even outside the door, and he preached the word to them. Some men came, bringing to him a paralytic, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus, and after digging through it, lowered the paralyzed man on a mat he was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven." And then they got into this big theological debate with the teachers of the law. It says this, now some teachers of the law were sitting there thinking to themselves, why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone? Immediately Jesus knew in his spirit what was being said, and they were thinking what they were thinking in their hearts. And he said to them, why are you thinking these things? Which is it easier to say to the paralytic, your sins are forgiven you, or to say, get up and take your mat and walk? But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. He said to the paralytic, I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home. What a beautiful model of healing on the basis of somebody else's faith. That paralytic had no faith. In fact, I get a picture of the 4 friends arriving at the paralytic's house, and they're ready to pick him up, and they put him on the mat, and he can't move. He can't do anything for himself. And he says to his friends, "Sir, what are you doing?" And they say, "Man, we've got faith that Jesus can heal you. We're going to take you to Jesus." And this man is probably shouting, saying, "Don't do it, don't do it. I don't believe he can do that. You're probably going to drop me on the road. You're going to make it's going to be so embarrassing for me when Jesus doesn't heal me. And then you're going to put me through the roof. And what happens if I fall off my mat?" He would have come up, I'm sure, with thousands of reasons as to why he should not go with his friends. But his friends persisted. And they said, "We're not taking no for an answer." They loaded him up on the mat, and with all his screaming and shouting and all his objections, they took him to Jesus. The crowd couldn't put them off. The roof couldn't put them off. They lowered him through a broken roof into the presence of Jesus. Jesus was so impressed. He said to these men, on the basis of your faith, I'm going to heal this friend of yours. Maybe it's a good lesson for us today. You know, we've got people who maybe don't believe, maybe they're kind of skeptics or cynics or something like that. Well, I'm going to tell you, people, bring them to Jesus, because Jesus is able to heal. And Jesus is able to heal on the basis of no faith at all from that person, but on the basis of the faith of his friends. Today, you got a friend who is in need, not just physical need of healing, but spiritual need. You bring them to Jesus, and you keep bringing them to Jesus. You don't get put off by the crowd. You don't get put off by the inconvenience. You don't get put off by the whining and the moaning of the person you want to bring. You don't get put off by the roof that is between you and Jesus. You dig through that sucker, and you bring that person to Jesus, and you lower them down at his feet. It's hard work. It's persistence. There's some work that needs to be done, but people don't give up. Don't give up. You keep bringing those people to Jesus, and who knows, maybe Jesus will look up to you in the roof and say, on the basis of your faith, I'm going to heal your buddy. On the basis of your faith, I'm going to meet that need for that child that you're praying for. I'm going to meet their husband's need on the basis of your faith, oh wife. Keep trusting and keep bringing them to Jesus. And on the basis of your faith that God can and will heal, who knows what Jesus will do. I find this so encouraging. I hope you do too. Have a great weekend, people. We'll see you soon. Bye.